Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Long Distance Work Life, the podcast where we try to make sense and help you thrive, survive, generally keep the weasels at bay in the world of remote and hybrid work. And today we are going to take a slightly different approach than we often do. And in order to do that, I am going to bring in this week's guest, Anatoliy Labinskiy. Anatoliy is with GSM Growth. Anatoliy, how are you, sir?
Yeah, Wendy, I'm really great. I'm happy to be here and excited to share my experience. Hopefully, there at least one person will listen, and it will be like something useful for him.
Yeah, exactly right. So help us. What is GSM Growth? What do you do? And why are you kind of so happy to talk about remote work?
Yeah, sure. Basically, we are advertising agency, GSM Growth Agency, where we are focusing on building advertising ecosystem for the Shopify brand owners by managing the Facebook, TikTok, Google, Snapchat, SMS, email marketing. So building the ecosystem machine for the brand owners in terms of advertising, and it's helping to increase long-term value of the customers, and at the same time protecting if something happens to Facebook or TikTok or Google, other platforms are covering and like keeping going. So basically that's the main focus. What we are doing, we are doing that since 2017 in general. On my stores I started, and after that by the beginning of 2020 we opened the agency and done quite successfully. In last couple of years we generated over 33 millions for our customers in the profitable sales.
So clearly, your company works and it works remotely. I know you're in Portugal this morning and you're going to be in Miami tomorrow, and I'm in Las Vegas. And isn't technology wonderful? But let's talk, because on this show, we usually talk to the individual contributor, the individual line manager. But a lot of organizations are struggling making remote work happen because the CEO isn't 100% bought in or doesn't know how to support remote work effectively. And that's the conversation I'd like to have with you. So why don't we start with, as the CEO of a company, what are the things about remote work specifically that you are most concerned about?
Yeah, sure. I would say like definitely remote work. We were on the top quantity. It was 44 team members. Now we are around 35, and basically the main thing was understanding how to manage them, how to make sure that they are doing the work during the like remote staying remote. Yeah, like how to understand that they are not going to the refrigerator or watching Netflix instead of doing the specific tasks. And we create the system. Like I created the system at the beginning when I had no managers. I had a couple of employers, and we start growing so fast in 2020 that I start actually giving opportunities to the average worker to become a manager. And this is where we start growing as a company, and we start building the management system. Number one thing, which is I believe on the remote work very important, is understanding what actually your teammates want. Like I was doing mistake in the first half of the year. I was always sharing my vision. I'm the CEO, I'm the founder, I have a vision where I want to bring the company. I know my why, and I'm just sharing that why and that vision with my team. You know what, they agreed, but it doesn't mean that they agreed. Actually they agreed because I'm paying them for, so of course they would be
The
agreed.
job is smile and nod at the boss, right?
Exactly. But after that I decided to make the difference, and I start speaking to the top management and like, guys, what's important for you, where you want to be in a couple of years, how you want to use the GSM to achieve your own goals, what's your actual goals. And this is where was the game changer in terms of management the team, because when I start understanding what they want, we start moving in forward to implement our possible features in the company to achieve their goals. And by that being said, I start always using one quote: use the GSM as a tool to achieve your own goals, and GSM will be great as well. Because if they're achieving their own goals, means GSM achieving its own as well. So basically, it creates extreme ownership for each individual person on that side of the phone, on that side of the Zoom, from the management side, of implementing the things which need to be implemented and need to be done. And basically, they motivated to train the other team members to make sure that they will be achieve results, whatever it takes.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. It clearly ownership is an important piece of this. Can you give me a specific example of something where your vision or what you wanted differed from what another person wanted and how you worked through that?
Yeah, sure. It's not about even difference, because especially at the first years, yeah, the first couple of years of the company, everyone had quite similar targets, which was financial targets to achieve. And basically, for me, I was creating the company without the basic salaries, all in the commissions. Why? One of the part, because I was a startup. Secondly, because it's a remote work. I don't want to pay anyone basics, because I don't want to like running behind him and asking, have you done that, have you done that? He has a commission base. Every single team members has a commission based income. So if he wants to get money this month, he need to complete the task. It's that simple. We don't have like 9 to 5, we don't have 2 to 12, we don't have that. We have like, hey, like this is the task, it has to be done in 1 hour, it has to be done before end of the day, before end of the week, and the tasks are done. Because like if it's not done, there is a questions what's happened. And basically, like, we create the financial matrix where we see in all those like metrics, and create the KPIs to the metrics of achievements of every single media buyer, every single salesperson, manager. And after that, when we see that somewhere numbers are going slightly down from the requirements, we can understand that something emotionally, mentally could be wrong, or just person quit or whatever. And that's why we start working on the psychological part, which is we really care. We start our management start reaching out instantly when they see that, okay, in the last couple of days metrics are down, what's happening? They reaching out and asking, hey, like, is it everything okay?
Okay,
Like,
so
yeah,
you said a couple of things there that I think we need to we need to make sure that we address. One
yeah.
of them is just systematically the notion of, and whether somebody's on base plus commission or whatever, the metrics are based on outcomes. They're not based on behavior, right? Whether somebody spends 12 hours a day at their keyboard or 5 hours a day, it's measured by output, right? It's measured by, did you make the sales, are the deals being closed, whatever. That defining the metrics is really important. The second thing is less systemic, and you kind of glossed over it, but I think it's important. And that is the notion of the psychological safety and managers having their radar up to know that something is up.
Yeah, that's kind of right there, because before last 1.5 2 years we were running without those metrics. I had my own Excel sheets, and I was completely understanding what is happening. But when we start growing and we start getting like 20, 40 clients plus, I cannot be in every single case instantly. Like, we have weekly trainings, weekly calls, going through the cases, and basically like building the structures with our CMO, with our like management, and understanding where it will go. But I cannot be in every single chat, I cannot be everywhere, which is means like we need simplicity of understanding where we are right now. And basically what this kind of financial model helps you understand, like in general, manager in his team, what's happening there. Then you can look every single team member, his numbers, and then every single team members you can look on his list of the clients to understand where exactly he sucks. So yeah, if it's going in average everywhere bad or like in average all good, no questions, so just pushing forward their performance, giving some kind of bonuses, giving them some kind of challenges. This is perfect thing in the remote challenges, like monthly challenge, the weekly challenge, weekend challenge, like whatever it is. And basically it makes fun to deliver better results. But when things are really bad, now we can see that. Before we were guessing like, hey, like what's happening, the client is wrong, there is always excuses on the remote, and not even remote, in the office. Yeah, that is the client. Oh, do you know that this is what's happened, he's not replying. But at the end, when we see the metrics, we directly like can address like what's happening. Like we manager check the chats are okay. And then after that, we finding out his mother in the hospital, he broke up with the girlfriend, he just moving from one apartment to another. And that's why like we keep in emotional statement between the management and the team players, in the way where they trusting and respecting the management, and if anything happening, they trying to address instantly. Or if something sensitive as a mother in the hospital, or especially breakage of the relationships, it's kind of sensitive, which is they're like, I'm okay, I'm fine. But at the end, bam, yeah, I just broke like a relationship of 2 years, couple of days ago. Oh, okay. And manager starts speaking as a human to human, not about the work, helping him to overtake that depression. Not because like we need him at work, obviously we need, but because like we respect their life and we want to help them to become better. And that's usually helping. And the guys on remote, they are, well, we are lonely. It's online world. We are lonely. Everyone's sitting in their offices, cabinets, rooms, and like nobody speak with. And here is someone from another part of the world and saying to you something, and like asking you questions and giving you suggestions. It means a lot. It really means a lot that someone cares. And sometimes even like when new team member coming to us, we even can like send some gift, some a video from my side welcoming and so on, to just let person understanding that we are a team. Doesn't matter if you don't have office, we are just like next to you, we are here to be with you.
Couple of, and again, you're throwing so many things out. I'm trying desperately to make sure that we capture the good
short. Sorry.
I'm trying to make sure that we capture some nuts and bolts that folks can listen to. And there's a couple of things in that last piece. The first is, what is the sweet spot for remote employees? How many direct reports do your managers have?
Yeah, I would say first of all, the sweet spot is the flexibility. When I said that we don't have a schedule, first 3 years we didn't have the day off. We didn't have days off. So the team has been built on my personal mentality, and basically, of course, everyone getting rest. But if something happened, even to 2 a.m., they were waking up and doing whatever need to be done. So basically, what I want to say that what's affect a lot on the implementing and moving forward with our rules, our company rules, is that we giving you flexibility. You have a laptop, and you're supposed to be on time on the calls. You're supposed to be able to take the action fast. And our teammates traveling Mexico, Dubai, Bali, Poland, Ukraine, the United States.
Okay, but
just
the question,
living a flexibility lifestyle. Yeah.
Okay, and that's fabulous, right? It's flexible lifestyle, so 9 to 5 isn't an option. First of all, because 9 to 5 doesn't matter when you're around the world. But how many direct reports does each manager have? What have you found to be a good number for that?
Yeah, so like every single manager has approximately 5 to 7 teammates under their each individual team. plus like our sales department before was 15 people. It was hard to manage because no, it wasn't hard to manage, it was hard to manage, find out the right people. So we are staying for last 2.5 years with 5 people in the sales team, and it's freaking sick team because they already know well the product, they love the company, and they sustainable. Nobody got fired at them because they are delivering. Nobody like leaving us because nobody wants to leave our company since like all the benefits which we're providing. So basically, in average, if to look on every single department, it's 5 to 7 teammates under, and those teammates has their own juniors. Usually it's one. So like that's like how it works in the PR department. It's directly reporting to me and Valeria, who you were introduced to,
Sure.
and like she has couple of the teammates who she's managing to make sure that the work is moving forward. So basically up to 7, 1 to 7.
Yeah, I like that 5 to 7 number. I think that's a manageable number where
It was exactly created for that.
people don't disappear, right? They don't fall off the radar. The other thing is, because you're working internationally, and this is just a functional thing, do you find challenges hiring people remotely in different countries? Have you had to decide not to hire somebody because they're in a geography, or how do you handle the international aspect while making sure that you're obeying the laws and all that good stuff?
Oh, about the laws and taxes and so on, it was the
Yeah.
biggest headache. It was really huge headache because we are American company, and like it was quite a bit to understand how to make all the payouts right and so on. But I would say the best talented are around the world. Like really, even like I have friends who has physical offices, agencies in United States, in Nashville, in Atlanta, but they have troubles to find out in Atlanta the right talent, in the Nashville the right talent. So, and they start hiring as well remotely because like somewhere in Serbia is the perfect like technical worker or something like that. And
Mhm.
basically on my end, like I'm Ukrainian, and I have around 60-70% of my teammates are Ukrainians. They're in different parts of the world, but they're in general Ukrainians. And like we have as well Serbian, we have Sweden, we have Argentina, Spain. So different countries, different locations. And by that being said, we are not choosing what country he is in. We are choosing what skills does he have, and if he is really good, has the right mentality. Because if he has the best skills in the world, but the mentality, I'm here a boss, and like I will be teaching you, not you me, and so on. So that person definitely won't be working with us in the company. So the right mentality, right skills, and doesn't matter what geographical location he's in. We have from Pakistan our video editor, designer in Moldova right now. So like different countries, so there is no specific location, because we have like even call schedules according to the worldwide
Right.
timing. Only one media buyer who moved to Bali, he is suffering a bit because he's 13 hours away from US, and like he has to switch a bit his schedule, but he want to live in Bali for some time, and it's his choice.
Are you finding that this is the last question, because not surprisingly, our time has fled. Are you finding that it's easier to overcome the taxes, work visas thing as time goes by? Are countries becoming more consistent and kind of lenient with that, or what are you finding?
Yeah, so the work visa is not required because like the all the guys are working on remote, like in every single company on remote. It's a W8 form, so it's like third party contractors, or they have their own LLCs. So it's like again third party contractor, but with the limited liability company, not with the person itself. And regarding the taxes, yeah, like we have just to follow all the like everything what is required from our side according to the country where we are, according to the all the requirements of the IRS. And basically like I can say that it's going smooth, but I believe that it's supposed to be soon, in the near future, maybe next 5, 10, 20 years, that it will be something like a worldwide regulations, because like world is never be will be as before, never. Like all the companies are like worldwide right now, because like it's mind blowing when Zoom became huge because of COVID. Companies realize not about the remote work, because some companies like Tesla or any some huge companies, they need to be offline, but still they find out so many great talents from different countries quite easier, and they don't need to move them to US or somewhere else and work in open working visa and so on, by figuring it out that it's possible to manage on the remote specific team members even if you need to be offline. So like one of my friends in the huge agency that turnover is like billions of dollars every single year in the customers results, they are like hiring offline, online, and the top players online from remote, they bring once in a year to United States for the like gathering, for
Right.
brainstorming and so on. So basically they call in the abroad person who where they hiring him, like let's say in Serbia, in
Hmm.
London. London guys hiring Serbia, hiring Spain, hiring someone else,
Right.
and they calling that as a London department. So basically,
Right.
no, it sounds fancy, but at the end, it's just a guy sitting in London, and now it's like uh, XYZ agency London. So it
Right.
sounds cool. It's a matter of like this is the real world in our days.
Well, it is the real world in our days. And Anatoly Labinskiy from GSM, I want to thank you for giving me the CEO's vision of this, right? What's going through their mind, because nothing works if it's not supported from the top. And you've given us some really good insight to that. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Wayne, for having me here. And if anyone has any questions or would like to reach out, you can easily text me in Instagram, ecom by Anatoly. I'm always answering on DMs from my side.
Well, and we will, in fact, have links to Anatoly and GSM and all of that good stuff on our website, thelongdistanceworklife.com. We have transcripts for each show, we have past episodes. So do check that out. Of course, next week, Marissa will be back. We will have one of our own shows. If you want to reach out to us with a question, a comment, a vicious personal attack, a show subject, somebody that we should talk to, just reach out to us on either LinkedIn or email. We love to have you with us. A couple of things we want to let you know. As of late September, we will have the second edition of our book, The Long Distance Leader, Rules for Remarkable Remote Leadership. The second edition, updated for remote and hybrid work, is available end of September. It's actually available for pre-order now. And if you would like to uh, learn some more skills to be a better remote leader, please check out our long distance leadership series. It's on kevinikenberry.com under virtual events. We would love to have you join us. For now, that's it. Thank you to Anatoly for being with us. Join us next week. Listen to our past episodes. I am not going to insult your intelligence by telling you to smash the like button. But if you want to push it gently and let everybody know that you like the show and subscribe, we would appreciate that. That's it. My name is Wayne Turmel. Thank you for joining us on the Long Distance Work Life podcast. And don't let the weasels get you down.